Hey everyone, my name is Aditya. I'm a developer advocate at Salesforce. In this quick take, we are going to learn what Webpack is and understand how a Lightning Web Components open source project uses Webpack. Let's dive in. So what is Webpack? Webpack is a bundler that transpiles and combines different JavaScript files and modules that you have in your project and creates one or more bundles. It's going to start by looking at one or more files called as entry points, which you as a developer get to define. In the example that I'm going to show you, the entry point is app.js. If this file depends on some other file, Webpack treats this as a dependency. So starting from the entry points, Webpack is going to recursively identify all the dependencies and builds what is called as a dependency graph. That includes every module or JavaScript file your application needs. And finally, it bundles all of them together into typically one file that can then be loaded by your browser. If you take a Lightning Web Components open source project, you have different JavaScript files. For example, files for your web components, shared JavaScript files, files that have been imported from third-party packages like Chart.js or base components, and scripts that are specific to each page like index.js. All of these different JavaScript files are bundled into one or more files by Webpack during the build process. So how does Webpack know where to start, how many bundles to create, which folder to create these bundles in, and so on? All of this happens using a Webpack config file. But notice in my project, I don't have a Webpack config file. That is because the project that gets created using the create LWC app tool internally uses a dependency called LWC services, which abstracts many features like Webpack, Dev Server, LWC, Jest, and many more, so that you as a developer don't have to worry about all of those and can just focus on creating components. And LWC services exposes a few commands for tasks like build, watch, test, etc. Now during build time, LWC services creates a Webpack config file on the fly and uses it. So let's run the build script from package.json, which uses the LWC services build command. Behind the scenes, LWC services creates a Webpack config file and runs Webpack. And Webpack is going to bundle all of the different JavaScript files. And notice in the distribution directory, there is just one app.js file that Webpack generates. This file is then automatically added to index.html as a script. So how can I look at the Webpack config file that LWC services has generated during the build? Luckily, LWC services also exposes a command called sniff that lets us view the generated Webpack config file and a few other configuration files. So let's create a new entry in the script section of package.json to execute the sniff command. The command takes in a parameter, which is the output directory where the generated scripts have to go. Now let's run the sniff script. It takes a second, but creates a folder with the different config files. Now let's go over the Webpack config file that gets generated. First, let's look at the entry property. Here is where you define which file Webpack has to start building its dependency graph from. Here it is index.js. Depending on your use case, you can have multiple entry points. For example, you're building a multi-page app. Each page can have its own entry point. Or let's say you have two apps, like the user app and admin app. Each of those can have different entry points. Since this is a very simple single page application, we only have one entry point, which is index.js. Next, let's look at the output property. This tells Webpack where to emit the bundles it creates and how to name the files. Here, the output directory is dist, and I'm asking Webpack to name the file as app-contenthash.js. Now content hash is useful for cache busting because it creates a unique hash every time the content changes. So if you remember from the output, the bundle was named app-some random string.js. Now, if you have multiple entry points, you can emit one bundle for each entry point. And of course, you can also configure the name of the generated bundle to be unique based on the entry point as well. Next, let's talk about plugins. Plugins are the backbone of Webpack because they allow you to configure and customize the build process. The first plugin I want to call your attention to is the HTML Webpack plugin, which is used to generate the HTML files to serve the Webpack bundles. To put it in a very simple way, the final bundles that are created by Webpack are added as scripts to the HTML file. Now in the distribution folder, you've already seen that there was one index.html file inside which the app.js bundle automatically got added. Now all of that is configured using this HTML Webpack plugin. The plugin entry takes in one parameter, that is the template, which is actually the location of the HTML file inside which it has to add the generated script bundles. So here I'm using index.html as the input, which is present in my src folder. So this plugin is going to take the index.html from the src folder and add the bundled scripts into it and output the final file into the distribution folder. This plugin also allows you to control how the final HTML file looks like whether comments have to be removed or not, whether white space have to be removed or not, and so on. In a typical LWC OSS project, you just have one index.html file. That is why there is only one Webpack plugin entry. But if you want to create more than one HTML files, you'll have to add additional entries. Next, let's talk about the copy plugin. Now, not all the files need to be processed and transformed. For example, a few files like your images, external style sheets that are placed in the resources folder can directly be placed in the output folder. And that is the exact purpose of the copy plugin. It takes files from the source folder and pushes it into the destination folder. So this is the basic Webpack configuration that gets auto-created for you. But you do have the option to customize some of these properties. There are two ways to customize this Webpack config file. First is using the LWC services config.json. Using this file, you can configure very few properties that are most frequently used, like the output directory and the resources to be sent to the copy plugin and so on. But it's a very small list. And if you want to customize something that is not there in LWC services config.json, you will have to create a custom Webpack config.js file with the additional customizations that you want. And that is the second way in which you can customize the Webpack file that gets generated. So typical examples include, what if you want to change the public path? What if you want to add more entry points? What if you want to add more entries to the HTML Webpack plugin? So all of these are not available through LWC services config.json. So you will have to create another Webpack config file just for these changes. So let me create a config file. You can give it any name that you want, but for simplicity, I'll name it webpack.config.json and only add the elements that you want to customize. So let's say I want to customize the public path. I'm going to add only that entry here. So just as an FYI, public path is actually the base URL from where all your static assets are served. Basically, it defines what a relative URL starts with. It can be slash, it can be // or if you're deploying your web app to a subfolder, like on GitHub pages, then you specify the name of the subfolder in public path. Now that you've created this custom Webpack config, you need to instruct LWC services to use this config file along with the file that it automatically generates, which you do using the -w flag. So I'm going to update the build, sniff, and watch commands with this flag. What this does is it merges your custom Webpack config file with the predefined Webpack config file. So if you run the sniff command again to see what the final output looks like, you'll notice that everything is the same except for public path. That is because the predefined config file has been merged with the custom config, and in the custom config, the only customization that I've supplied is the public path. Now, this approach of sending in a custom Webpack config file is meant for basic customizations only. For advanced customizations, you'll have to create a Webpack config file from scratch and use the standard Webpack build process instead of the abstracted LWC services build. Here is how a fully custom Webpack config file created from scratch looks like. It has no dependency whatsoever on LWC services. You must manually import the plugins that you want to use, create entry and output configs, and you'll notice I have tweaked the output file name a little bit so that when I run the Webpack build, I can see visually a difference in the build output. Next, you define the plugins that you want, and it is very important to add the LWC Webpack plugin. Now, without this plugin, Webpack will not be able to understand your Lightning Web Components and it won't transpile or bundle them. Finally, we also define the HTML Webpack plugin to generate the HTML file with the build output added as a script. So now you can directly run Webpack build command, which is npx webpack, which looks for the config file, which is webpack.config.js. And based on that, it builds your project. And in just a bit, you should see the output. Visually, everything looks the same, but notice the JavaScript file's name. It's slightly different because of the configuration that I've given it. Now, let me run the serve script to see if this build done using Webpack and not LWC services works as expected or not. And it does. So again, as I mentioned before, a completely custom Webpack config file like what you have seen just now is for advanced customizations. For basic customization needs, you can either use the LWC services config file or create a supplemental Webpack config file, which then LWC services merges with the standard config file. I've put the completely custom Webpack config file on GitHub, and you'll find its link in the description of this video. Thank you for watching. If you've learned something, be sure to like this video. If you want to get more content like this pushed directly to you, click subscribe and click that bell icon to get notifications.